In this video tutorial, I'll introduce you to a great bookmarking and highlighting service online called Diigo. This is great for educators to collect resources and then share it with their students. Notice when you go to Diigo.com, there on the right are the various features available in the system. For example, there is an iPad app. You can add resources using your various phones in various browsers. There's also a video that kind of gives you a brief explanation of different parts of the service. To begin, notice there's a Get Started Now button where you can create an account. But don't overlook where it says Educator Get Started Here on the right. That's where you can learn more about how you even set up your classes and be able to share bookmarks and favorites for specific classes. I'm going to simply click Get Started Now. Here you can create an account, or if you already have an account that's with Facebook, Twitter, Google, or Yahoo, you can use those services to create an account. Since I have one with Gmail or Google, I'm going to select that option. Now that I'm logged in, let me give you a brief orientation to the setup in Diigo. Notice there on the left is where I have my bookmarks, images, and notes, and I can filter the results of this page by clicking each one of those. Also, you have tags which you enter as you add your bookmarks or favorite websites. So that makes it convenient when you search for them later. For example, if I wanted to go to all my bookmarks on Martin Luther King, when we studied that, you can click on that and you can see here are just the websites for Martin Luther King. And again, that's based on the tags that I'd entered when I bookmarked these various sites. Also, notice you can, again, I'll click on all. If I scroll down, you can click on View All Tags and you can see all the various tags that you've used throughout time. Now I'm going to go to my library, and that's kind of like going back to your home page and to see from the beginning. Alright, there we go. So go to my home page, and notice there in the bottom left corner are my list, where I can create various lists on different topics that I want. That's kind of the same thing as creating tags. You can use that, but for a teacher it might be easier as you have units of study to just simply create a list, and then you can direct your students to go to that particular list. Now, going across the top here, notice you can create a network. So maybe you're in different networks of students or teachers. You can create a network. So I can click on my network, for example, and I can create different networks of people that I follow. And then I can create groups. If you've created the educator account, you can create a group for each of your classes, and you can see I've just created a few here. And then there is a community, so if you want to learn more about the service, you can sign up for the community of other educators and people using the service. Now I'm going to go back to the library, and now we're going to look at how do you create these bookmarks and highlights and so forth. Well, the first thing I would do to make it convenient is to go to the Tools link up here at the top, and once you have done that, go ahead and click on Diigo, which is a bookmark tool. And then notice right here this button, you just simply click and you can drag it up to your favorites and it will add it to your favorites toolbar, which I already have mine there. Now you use that as you're browsing the various websites. So let's say you go to one of your favorite websites. Let's say you're on a website like this. As you can see, this is a blog that I have created, and maybe this is a great resource for you. And you were on this site and you wanted to bookmark it. Notice you can just click that button and then you get these tools are activated. It may ask you to log in the first time, and then I can use these tools for a variety of reasons. For example, notice I haven't done anything yet, but it had already highlighted these first few sentences. Well, the way you do that is you click on highlight, and then you can go in and highlight. So let's say I want to highlight it in green. I can click green, and I could go in here and I could highlight these sentences, and then you see right here I can click highlight. You can also create a sticky note if you want to leave some kind of note there. So I'm going to click highlight, and it's highlighted that text. Maybe that will be important for you or your students when you want them to maybe read through several pages of documents that are online, but you want them to concentrate on a specific area. That's something that you could do. Now, going to the bookmark feature, which is probably the thing you'll use the most, if I just want to bookmark this site, I'd click that, and notice the web address here and the title, so you might need to revise it, but in most cases you don't need to. And then you can either mark it private, or you might want to click private, or you might want to tweet this to your followers if you're on Twitter. And then right here you might simply want to type in, this is the EdTech blog, so I'll just type that. But you could give more sentences or add more sentences to describe the website, and then you type in keywords. For example, this is EdTech. I put a lot of iPad information on here, technology, that type of thing. And you just add keywords by which your students might search. And then if you wanted to, you can click this drop down and you can add it to a list. So if this were a Martin Luther King study and this is a website that you needed to add to that list, you could click that. Or if you need to create a new list, you can do that right here. And also, if you have groups that you set up, so maybe you add that to the list, but you also want to add it to your first period class or maybe some other group you're a part of, you could add that to the group, or you can create a new group. Now, since I'm done, I'm going to click Save Bookmark, and it's going to save that bookmark. And so when I go back to Diigo, that will be added. And you can see right here, we'll move on there in a minute. Under Share, you can see I can share this resource directly on Twitter and Facebook if you use those services. And then you have also, you can share it by email. So maybe you have email accounts for your students and you can email them directly. The next item is the Diigo button, and I would suggest you just go to My Library and you'll see your library pop up in just a minute. So you can see that I just added that today, and you can see the link and it gives the information, and then even the highlight that I added there. And then my followers could then do the same thing. They could add, share. Notice I can edit that anytime I want. I can click on the link to go there. So I'm going to sign out and then give you a brief look at see what your students might see. Notice the web address for your Diigo account, your public web page, is listed here. So it has diigo.com/user and then whatever your username is. So I'm not logged in, so my students, I would direct them to this site or maybe put a link to this on a site they normally go to, and you can see as a student they can go in and they can browse through the content, they can do a search, they can use the tags on the right, or maybe the list that you've created that are public. Now notice I had a couple of lists when I logged in, but my only public list is this one right here. So let's say I wanted to go in and type in and see what there was on iPad. I could type in iPad and see what results I have. So you can see there's only a few here, and again that's just based on what I've added, not on the entire internet. You can also use your tags. So let's say you wanted everything to do with Gaggle. You can click on that and you can see there's only one item there under Gaggle. You can go to your groups and see what groups the teacher may have created. So I'll click on groups, and you can see there's different groups on the community or in the community, and kids can take a tour if they want to learn more and so forth.